Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Pixie Love. You guys can call me Pixie. And today we're doing some r/fatlogic. So let's just get into this crazy delusional mess. Can you explain to me why intentional weight loss is basically guaranteed to fail? Basically, if you start to consume less than your basal metabolic rate, the baseline amount of calories your body needs to function, your body will go into starvation mode and you'll be more likely to hold on or stockpile fat than burn it. I've already talked about starvation mode and everything, and it comes when you are extremely reducing your calories for a long period of time. Being at a slight calorie deficit is not going to make you go into starvation mode, okay? Being at a huge calorie deficit for a long period of time will get you into starvation mode. And then starvation mode doesn't even last that long. It's maybe a few weeks and then your body's going to continue to have to lose the weight, okay? Your basal metabolic rate is not the baseline of the amount of calories your body needs to function. It is just the amount of calories your body needs to maintain your current weight. That's what it is. So if you're at 200 pounds and you're not gaining weight and you're eating 2,000 calories a day and you're burning off 2,000 calories a day, that's how many calories you would need to stay at your current weight. But if you eat more than 2,000 calories a day and you're only burning 2,000 a day, you're going to gain weight. And if you're eating less than 2,000 calories a day and you're burning 2,000 a day, you're going to lose weight. It's not that if you don't eat 2,000 calories a day, you're just going to fucking die. No, that's just what amount of calories your body needs to maintain the weight that you're currently at. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to understand that. Fat phobia is directly tied to racism. When you allow fat phobia to be spoken in your spaces, you are perpetuating racism and exclusion. Don't talk about diets, don't talk about your weight in a negative way, and do not use fat phobic slurs. Google it if you don't know. And this is how you be a racist without being a racist. Because inherently, and I love when it's tied to racism, because a lot of freaking activist people only think of racism when it comes to black people, when every race can form racism, and racism isn't just in the African American and African communities. Asian people have to face it, indigenous people have to face it, Hispanic and Latino people have to face it, white people have to face it as well. So it's not just, oh, racism is equal to being anti-black, because that's not the same fucking thing. But we do know that they're black people are fat, so if you don't like fat people, you don't like black people, because that's what you're saying. And that is so inherently racism in itself. Black people are not inherently fat. When black people don't live in America, they're not fat. When black people don't live in European countries, they're not fat. People in Africa aren't fat. Yeah, there are some people who are overweight in Africa. It's not to the rate that they are in America and in European countries. All they are is slightly curvier. Just because we have fat asses doesn't mean we're fucking fat, okay? Just because we have big boobs doesn't mean we're fucking fat. It just means we're curvy. Our body stores fat in different places than you. That doesn't make us actually fat, because mostly we weigh around the same amount. U.S. body positivity campaign creates cards for patients asking doctors not to weigh them unless it's really medically necessary, because it stresses them out and perpetuates weight stigma. First of all, before I even read what this says, your doctor does not need to weigh you to know that you're over fucking weight. Especially if you're the type of person having one of these cards when you're probably 200-300 pounds overweight. Your doctor doesn't need to weigh you to know that. They can see yep, you're overweight. It is medically necessary to weigh you for prescriptions and doses. They need to know how much you weigh to make sure they give you a proper dose, because some bodies and some weights need a higher dose for stuff, and that's why they need to know how much you fucking weigh. And also, they need to know how much you weigh just so they can fucking be like, hey, you weigh this much, you're this amount of pounds overweight, okay? You probably want to lose some weight to feel better. But let's read what it says. Please don't weigh me unless it's really medically necessary. If you really need my weight, please tell me why so I can give you my informed consent. Why? Because most health conditions can be addressed without knowing my weight. When you focus on my weight, I get stressed out, and that's not healthy. Weighing me every time I come in for an appointment and talking about my weight like it's a problem perpetuates weight stigma. I pursue healthy behaviors regardless of my weight status. Because if you're overweight to the point where you're carrying one of these cards, you're not pursuing healthy behaviors. Maybe you're having one healthy behavior, like you're maybe a little bit more active than you used to be, but you're still eating too goddamn much food to be at the weight that you currently are. And once again, your doctor doesn't need your weight to, you know, draw some blood and be like, you have high blood pressure. But when it's their weight, they can be like, you need to lose like 50 pounds, and, you know, we'll see if your blood pressure gets back to normal after you lose that weight. That's why they need to know your weight, so they can give you informed fucking information. Like, yeah, you deserve your informed consent. You need to know why. You need to know why you're weighing them. But at the end of the day, they need your fucking weight. Okay? You're just insecure and you don't want to hear that fucking number. Anti-fat bias is so strong that being fat at an amusement park means having to try the seats for a fit before getting in line and possibly not being able to go on a ride because the seat doesn't fit your body. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like maybe you should fucking lose weight. Because if you're at the point where you can't fit in the seats, you should probably lose weight. And you know who also has problems with sitting on rides? People who aren't just fat. People with big boobs. Because I've always had huge boobs. Okay, they're not huge. I've always had big boobs. Even when I was smaller, having those little things go over my chest, always super uncomfortable. Always had to force it down because they're big. My sister, way smaller than me, has a similar issue. So are we saying that roller coasters are like anti-women because they don't make room for women with big boobs? Can we make that argument as well? When most roller coasters and stuff was built, 60% of the population wasn't fat, okay? And roller coasters were made for the average sized person. They're not gonna sit here and redo all the roller coasters so they can fit less people on there but fit bigger people. Like, and if they make the seats bigger, it's going to be dangerous for smaller people who aren't snugly fit into the seats. So do we just say fuck the skinny people now when, you know, you can easily solve your problem by losing some weight? It's so funny. Like that's my answer to everything. Like, you can solve this problem by losing weight, but you don't want to solve this problem, so you don't get to complain. That's I hate people like that. I always say, if you're complaining about something, like, what are the steps you're taking towards fixing or creating a solution for your issues? Like, if you're not working towards solving your problem, why are you fucking complaining? Because there's a clear way to solve your problem. There's an easier way, because I guess your solution is like making everyone less fat phobic, but there's an easier way to solve your problems, which is losing weight, which is something you can handle and control. You can't handle and control other people, but you can control yourself and what you do. And if you want to stop having to deal with anti-fat bias, just lose some fucking weight. You can clearly do that. You don't want to, but you can do it. And if you don't want to do the easy part, the easy solution, then like go somewhere else. Like, why are you complaining? Why are you complaining about the outcome that comes with your choices of being overweight? You're choosing to be overweight, that's fine, but yet you're complaining about having to deal with being overweight. But you're choosing to be overweight. As someone who's overweight, who's trying to lose weight, I don't complain about this stuff. I'm actively working on losing weight, and yet you don't hear me complain like, oh, I can't fit in a roller coaster. Because first of all, I haven't been on a roller coaster forever, but I'm still pretty sure I can fit on them. I'm not that big. And second of all, I don't go to hotels and complain that the towel doesn't fit around me. Like, I don't freaking go to someone else's house and complain that their chairs that the chairs are too small for me. Like, no, I don't complain about those things. Because why? I got myself to the point I am, and it's no one else's fucking fault, and I'm actively working on losing my weight, and I'm still not complaining about those issues. Hey, here's a little reminder to subscribe, like this video, just hit that notification bell, and let's go to the next post, which I'm pretty sure is going to be about someone being racist. So let's continue. Talking with your child about diet culture is much more important than talking with them about eating their vegetables. Okay, so when I see this, something came to my mind. And hi, if you didn't know, I'm black. But so a lot of conversations that are had in black families at a very young age is having to deal with racism and what it is. It's something I guess I'm gonna assume it's for everyone who's a person of color, but at least I know from like a lot of black people's standpoint, it's something you deal with and you see from a very, very young age. And I hope that's changing with younger kids. I don't have a kid right now, so I don't know how they're gonna see things, but like I've noticed from a very young age that I was treated differently, that I've noticed, like when I was young, black people on TV were always criminals and stuff like that. I mean, there was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and The Cosby Show, but like when it was like a show that was mostly white people and you saw like white people on it, it was like, oh, they were drug dealers and gang members and this and that, and then just like being called the N-word, having my teachers, you know, expect less of me because I'm a black student. Like it's stuff that I dealt with, and it's conversations that parents tend to have with their children from a very young age of what it is, you know, our history of slavery and everything, and it's like it's a part of just being a black child or a person of color. I would assume maybe other ethnicities have to deal with the same thing, but it's something I remember and I have to deal with. And that to me is a talk that had to be had in my family. It's a talk I will have to have with my kids, especially with them being biracial. And I don't know why that's what I thought of when I saw this, and I'm like, that's like how I'm seeing it. It's like in their mind, this conversation about diet culture is just as important as my parents having to explain to me what racism is when I was very young. And I'm just like, that pisses me off because it's nowhere near the same thing. It's not on the same fucking level. And I'm tired of these people acting like it's those problems are, one, go side by side and go hand in hand with each other, and two, that it is just as important and just as much of a struggle to deal with diet culture and being fat as it is being a black woman in America or being a person of color in America. Like, that stuff disgusts me. And like, I don't know, maybe no one else is gonna see it that way, but that's literally when I read this, my mind went to those conversations I've had to have, and I'm just like, no, okay? Fuck no. No. I don't know. I feel like this got me way more upset than it needed to. So we're gonna keep moving on. Healthcare professionals, if weight loss is your most creative solution you can come up with for your patient's issues, please kindly sit down and let the grown-ups work. Okay, but like, what's your solution then? Because like, I've talked about it before. You don't want your doctors coming up with creative fucking solutions to your problems. A doctor is going to come up with the most streamlined and most likely outcome for your problems. If you're overweight, 9 times out of 10, your issue is because you're overweight. And if it's not because you're overweight, being overweight can make it even worse. So that's why they say you have to lose weight before they can, I guess, properly diagnose you, because the weight is making the issue worse or causing the issue. They can't treat you for something else if they don't get rid of that symptom. Does that not make sense? Like, come on. And on top of this, it says, this is a story of someone who's recovering and censoring words, skipping meals since that used to be their habit. So I guess it's like coming from someone who's like, you know, you're talking about like, let the grown-ups talk, but yet you're recovering from an eating disorder, and like, you don't even like hearing the word skipping meals because that's what this person used to do, and that's your solution to your problems, yet you're telling the professionals to sit down and let the grown-ups do their work. Like, what would be their solution? What would be your solution? If losing weight, you know, is not a good, what would be your solution? You're obviously you must know more than your doctor. You obviously know what's wrong with you, but you want your doctor to know what's wrong with you because like, they're not figuring out the right answer. So what is the answer? If losing weight isn't your answer, what is the answer? What is actually wrong with you? And you can't say it's not your weight if you haven't tried losing weight and the problem didn't get better. If you was like, used to be 300 pounds, right? And you got all the way down to 150 and you were still having the same issues and your doctor still doesn't know what's wrong with you, then maybe you can be cause for concern. But if you are still 300 pounds and your doctor's like, you need to lose weight before we can figure out what's wrong with your fucking heart or your fucking joint pains, and it's like, well, you need to come up with a better solution. Have you tried actually losing the weight? Have you tried it? I'm just saying. You can't say that their suggestion is BS when you actually haven't tried losing the weight. Ugh, I wish I could see the tweet that they're responding to, but you know. Finally, I just want to point out, you chose to quit smoking, but you cannot choose to not be fat. You really think all overweight people are just here going on like, holy toy, I choose to be fat. You don't necessarily choose to be fat, but your choices that you've made with food, the outcome is being fat. And you choose to continue being fat and gaining more weight if you continue to eat more food than you need. That's kind of how it works. Like, no, I didn't choose to be over 300 pounds last year. Wasn't my choice, but I did choose when quarantine hit to not do anything, not go outside, not go for walks, couldn't go to my gym, couldn't go to work, and between going to the gym and my job, which would both kept me very active, to eating more, because that's all I fucking did was that being at home and I fucking ate food all damn day, I gained like fucking 50 pounds. Did I choose to gain 50 pounds? No, but did I choose to be lazy and fucking eat all damn day? You're damn right I made that choice. And now I'm taking the choice to eat less, be more active, go back to the gym, and I have been losing weight. With 310 pounds at the end of last year, and right now I'm 286 pounds. Haven't lost that much weight, but it's going back down. It's going down again. Like as long as my number isn't going up, I'm happy because it's going down. And I'm making that choice. And I've dealt with those consequences, and I'm dealing with the consequences of not being able to eat all my yummy goody food as I'm losing weight. They're my choices. You chose to overeat. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, leave a like down below. On the corner of your screens in a few seconds, there's going to be 2 videos. One is my most recent upload. The other one is something that YouTube recommends from you. Both videos are by me, and both of them are bangers, so like click on either one. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.